Hello. This video is to share my experience with getting a pacemaker. Here's the story. Okay, well, it all started one morning when I got up. I thought it was coming down with a cold. I felt lousy, extremely lousy. But I went into the living room area like I do every early morning whenever I decide to get up. Anyway, I thought, it'll pass. I sat down, watched some 90210. I leaned forward. I fell asleep. And when I woke up, the TV screen was blurry. Extremely blurry. I could not see clearly. But it rectified itself, and I thought, maybe it was I'm just not feeling well. That should have been a red flag. As it is, I didn't have a second cup of coffee or finish the seltzer water I opened. No, I went right to bed to try to shake whatever I have off, and hopefully I'll feel better later. Good enough to eat, whatnot. Got into bed. Unpleasant surprise. My stomach felt really hard, like I swallowed a big steel square block. I spit up a little, and I didn't feel well at all. Oh, I felt awful. I knew something was drastically wrong. I should have taken the red flag signs. The blurry TV, not drinking coffee or salsa water, two of my favorite drinks in the world, it seems, right now. Anyway, moving on. I called 911 because I didn't know what to do. I was not feeling good, and I had a big sneaking suspicion something was drastically wrong, and I needed hospital care ASAP. I picked up the phone and called 911, told the dispatcher what's happening to me. Then after that, I called the office and had the maintenance man come up to unlock the apartment door so the EMTs and the rest of the 911 crew could come in and help me and give me the help I need. Maintenance unlocked the door before long. The 911 crew came in and did the whole 9 yards, the whole enchilada, blah, 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 blah. From asking my name to putting me on the stretcher, it all happened. When I was on the stretcher, they gave me oxygen, wheeled me downstairs on the stretcher, put me in the ambulance, and got me to the hospital ASAP. When I got to the hospital, I was put on a gurney in one of the rooms in the ER. I was hooked up to a monitor, had an EKG, yada, 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 the whole kit and caboodle. After everything was done and things settled down, at one point I had to use a bedpan to go to the bathroom. Then the doctor came in after that, or before that, I don't remember. Anyway, he said to me that the bottom of my heart wasn't working, the electrical part wasn't working, and I'm going to need a pacemaker. Okay, well, if I need one, I need one. I'm there to get help. At the time, I wasn't thinking much of it. I was really feeling lousy. So I stayed there for the longest time. A woman doctor from the ICU, basement ICU, was handling my case. She must have been my doctor from ICU. I don't know. Probably the doctor on call. Who the heck knows? Nor care at the time. I was too sick. So she said that I would be going down to the basement part of the ICU. That's where she is. Okay, I need a heart monitor, whatever, fine. They wheel me down. I go into a bed, get comfortable. Short-lived. First of all, I get a temporary pacemaker put in. Then they tell me I'm going to Leahy Hospital. Oh, wonderful. Now, I got to take a trip all the way to Burlington to Leahy Hospital. Wonderful. Well, the med flight ambulance was waiting. They put me in there and got me to Leahy. When I got to Leahy, I was wheeled right into a room, put on a bed, hooked up to the heart monitor, yada, 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 whatever they had to do. In a couple of days or so, I had to have an access put in. They weren't able to get veins for blood draw anymore, and I would need probably numerous ones to make sure things were okay with my INR, creatinine, and so forth. Okay. I get to the procedure room that day. The doctor was supposed to use the catheter access I already have in there. Someone started an IV, I had a catheter access. Couldn't do it. Blockage. So he had to put a full PICC line in. Okay, he put a PICC line in. All right. I get wheeled back to my room. And I remember they had to get rid of my UTI that I had. Haha, big surprise, a UTI. That doesn't surprise me at all. I'm no stranger to UTIs. I've had them many times before. So they give me dopamine, and I think it's Zenephrine or whatever the heck they decided to give me to get rid of the infection, or get rid of it enough that I can have the pacemaker put in. The following week, that Monday, I had the pacemaker put in. Finally, at some point, I went down to the surgical daycare / recovery, waited an entire, God knows how many hours. The nurse said that I was there at 11:30, and I didn't take it in until 2 or whatever, or 2:30, whatever the heck she said. Yeah, it felt like it. They wheeled me in, but before they put me on the table, I must have been really nervous. My arms and hands felt numb. I felt like I was going to die. I felt like I was going to be sick. They put my head up for a few minutes, felt better. They put it down, put me on the table, and I was fine. Oh, God, I wasn't happy at all. And the anesthesiologist had talked to me before the procedure, so he was in the room, making sure I was comfortable. He starts to give me the anesthetic, and I relax, and honestly, I fall asleep. Then after that, I went back to my recovery cubicle. I have to tell you, I did freak out. I was a mess. I was freaking out to the point where I was yelling, I want to go back to my room. A male nurse came over and calmed me down within 5 minutes, maybe less, maybe a little more. Then I had to have a stupid EKG done. I went up to my room after a few minutes, and I had to stay in the laying position for about an hour because of the site of the insertion of the pacemaker. It went in through my groin and into the heart, and it stays there. The other one was the original going under the skin, but the doctor explained that due to my infections that I get, the pacemaker would be no good, and maybe the veins and all that was smaller. There was a couple of problems. So he says the one that goes up the groin is the size of a bullet. I was like, eesh, what caliber? I guess maybe I was just a little nervous. Well, it's probably just a regular caliber bullet. Nothing. But when I got up from my procedure, I ate. I had a huge dinner. I was extremely hungry. So I ate and ate. I was so hungry. Having no breakfast and lunch, yeah, you would be hungry. So anyway, I ate and then I relaxed. Now, the Friday of that week, by that time I was ready to be released probably. Well, I had therapy. PT came in and he got me up from the bed to stand. I'm like, oh God. So I stood up, a little lightheaded, a little weak, not too bad. But then he suggested I go to rehab before I go home to strengthen more. Oh, wonderful. Now I gotta go to rehab. Oh, just wonderful. It's getting better and better and better. Not. Oh, God. Now I'm looking forward to rehab. Oh, yeah. And how lucky I am that the 4th of July this year falls on a Thursday. Now these people have a long weekend because Friday's the next day and they take a field weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I'm laying in that stupid hospital room waiting to get the hell out there. Oh, God. All right. I waited it out, and the Monday after the big holiday week, I go at night. The day started like any other day, blah, 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 all the wonderful things that happened. Then, at night, they say, you're ready to go now. So they take the PICC line out. However, how lucky is this? The EMTs are waiting for me because the PICC nurse comes, or not PICC nurse, IV nurse. Easy mistake. The IV nurse comes in and takes it out. Yeah, right. Then I go into panic mode. My nursing assistant comes in and I hold his hand and ready to squeeze if necessary. It was horrible because sometimes the tape hurts coming off. And I forgot to mention this. If anybody has ever had work in the groin area, you must know that they cover it with bandages and all that, or techoderms. You will know how painful it is. But for those of you who've never had the groin area worked on for some reason, when they take off bandages or techoderms, ouch! Ooh, I think by my face you can tell it was painful. Mother of God, it hurts so free. I shriek every time painful. But you get over it eventually. So I forgot to mention that. But be prepared if you ever have a groin procedure. Anyway, they called Wingate because that was my choice. The insurance covered it. We had to wait for the government. When I got to Wingate by ambulance, when I got into my room, got right up, walked into the bathroom, went to the bathroom. I had to go. It was kind of a long ride. Then into bed. The next day I was evaluated by therapy, did a little small amount of stuff. Wednesday, Thursday, did therapy. However, that Thursday, I had a meeting and they asked Dad to join us. Okay, so we all went. The therapist, Dad, and I walked to the office and went into the office and had the meeting. Not too long, maybe 10, 15 minutes. Not too long. But then he decided to release me because I was doing so well. It was decided Sunday at 1 o'clock. Yeah. Well, oh, they asked about Saturday or Sunday. That Sunday was better. And in the afternoon because I wanted to have breakfast and get washed and dressed and just ease into the day. So Thursday, Friday, did some therapy Friday. Saturday didn't do much of anything, just they signed me out OT. Signed me out. I did a small amount of exercising, just a little bit. Then went back into the bed. Rested the whole day. That Thursday, my friend came to visit, and I asked him if he could come pick me up, and he said yes, because I knew the time and all that. Oh, he was coming to rescue me. I was like, oh, once he comes and I go with him and get out of here, this will be great. I couldn't wait to go with him and get out of here. So now Sunday finally comes. My florist friend sent me flowers on Friday. So when he came to get me, he took the flowers with him to the car, and the nurse grabbed the bag, and the nurse walked me out. That's protocol. Oh, protocol, my rosy red rear end. Oh, but I walked out of there, waited for him to come over to the door. He pulled up. The nurse put the bag in the car, and I got into the car with my friend, and I left with him. He parked to see about the movies, Spider-Man, and if Spider-Man was playing in a theater in Framingham, which is DMC theater company that has actual restaurant food, you put a tray table over the recliners. It's a real theater, but they serve actual food like Chunky's does, only it's a full theater, not a dinner theater. Anyway, he checked, and Spider-Man played in one of the ones that had the food. So he drove to Framingham, let me off, parked the car, we both entered. Waited for a long time. Then finally we went in, had the food, watched the movie. It was a great afternoon. I had a CalFest. I must have had at least a couple thousand calories, if not more. What the hell? I had been through crap, picked, probed, all these emotions. Ugh, it was awful. That's why I picked out. I needed to be reassured that this is life again. My The doctors saved my life, and thanks to that I was able to enjoy a movie. I'm going to go off for just a minute and tell you, if you have not seen Spider-Man, go see it. If you like the whole Marvel series, or if you just love Spider-Man, this movie is beyond fantastic. I loved it tremendously. And the actor who plays Spider-Man does a great job. Oh. And the food at AMC was to die for. All the food was excellent. I could have eaten everything off the menu. Anyway, back on track. After the rehab, I was glad to be home. When my friend dropped me off, I was glad it was at the apartment here, not the rehab. Now I'm doing better, and as of right now, I'm getting PT, OT, and nursing with it. Nursing for my INR, P and OT to strengthen up again. Eventually that'll all blow over and I'll have nothing, but oh my God. And I have to straighten out my SSI too. But that's nothing compared to the hospital stuff. Oh. This was a terrible journey. And my mother died in May, which didn't help the situation any, because she wasn't sitting by my side giving information to the medical people to help me out. I was on my own. They had to look on the computer, or I had to remember the meds. It was terrible. It was the worst hospitalization ever because it was really bad. I was really sick. I had a heart problem that needed fixing. This was nothing to sneeze at. Oh, boy. Well, I hope my story influences anybody needing a pacemaker to feel more at ease. Because it's nothing. Trust me, it's nothing. It's routine. They do it all the time. In the groin or on the chest, it's very routine. Very little recovery time. Not even a day. As soon as you're done, you start recovery. It is very invasive. It's easy peasy. They do it all the time, practically every day, if not every day. Don't be scared. It's going to be okay. It's not like a regular surgery. If you're worried about being under all the way, they don't. They put you under an anesthetic. If you fall asleep, it's because you're relaxed. It's not a general. However, I think they might have slipped me some general to get me more comfortable. I don't know. I wouldn't think so. You have oxygen on your nose or mouth and you'll fall asleep, or you'll be able to talk or whatever. It's nothing. Please go through it. Don't deny it, because you can have heart problems, or within a few times you could die, whatever, or you might have more problems in the future. If you need a pacemaker, go for it. Trust me, it's no big deal. It's nothing. It's one of the most routine things you'll ever go through, next to having a PICC line put in or an IV or whatever. I hope that influenced you. If you don't want to get a pacemaker, that's your choice, but you're putting your life into your hands, especially if you have a lot of other heart problems like arrhythmia and so on and so forth. This will shock you back into mode here. It does the work of a defibrillator, I would assume. It just shocks the heart back into place if something happens. Okay, I hope this helped. God bless. Goodbye.